It is important to know what was going on in America when the Midnight Ride took place. Tensions were high between the colonists and their rulers, the British Empire. Events like the Stamp Act and the Boston Tea Party ignited the idea of rebellion more and more.
British spies intercepted information regarding war supplies being held in Concord, as well as the location of John Adams and John Hancock, who were among the key planners in the plot to overthrow the British rule. Upon receiving this information, Redcoat General Thomas Gage planned a siege that would destroy all weapons being held in Concord, as well as arrest Hancock and Adams. However, a Patriot spy was able to intercept this information.
The regulars are coming, sir, now.
Send for Dawes and Revere.
Both men, sir.
We'll send one by land and one by sea.
But the regulars are coming by sea, sir.
If there were other routes, we would take them too. God willing, one will make it.
Paul Revere and William Dawes were two of the best riders the Americans had. Revere, being the more experienced rider, was sent on the more daring route directly to Lexington, while Dawes was sent on a lengthy, loopy route to Lexington as a backup in case Revere was intercepted by Redcoat Patrol. If all went well, Revere was to wait for Dawes at the house where Hancock and Adams were staying so that they could ride on to Concord together. With the plan in place, Dawes set off, and Revere was faced with the biggest challenge of the whole mission right away: crossing the Charles. Because of the river's heavy redcoat patrol, Revere had a backup plan put in place.
Revere, on what route are the regulars taking? By your path, or by sea.
And 2 lanterns. And if I do not make the passage, the light will go up. Charlestown will not be caught slipping.
We need more than Charlestown.
And we shall have it.
Nonetheless, Revere was able to use the cover of night and time his run perfectly between patrols and successfully reach the other side without being spotted. He borrowed a horse from a man named John Larkin, a Charlestown merchant, and set off on his legendary ride at around 11 o'clock at night.
Wake up, 2 minutes, bring them to Lexington at once! Wake up, the regulars are coming! Wake up to be a free man!
The ride to Lexington was smooth and efficient, with no unexpected obstacles or an irregular amount of regulars on patrol. Revere would have probably shouted something like, "The regulars are coming out," rather than the famous misnomer of, "The British are coming."
Over the Boston.
Not too long after Revere had delivered the message to Adams and Hancock, at about 12:30, William Dawes caught up with him, and after refreshing himself with drinks, they prepared themselves to head on to Concord to complete the mission.
It's the morning that concerns me.
They haven't reached Concord yet, but I believe we shall.
Just a few minutes on their way to Concord, they encountered 23-year-old Dr. Samuel Prescott, who volunteered to join them for the remainder of the ride to Concord. A short while later, just as the mission was good and almost done, the 3 riders were spotted and intercepted by British patrol. But somehow, Dawes and Prescott escaped. Dawes whipped back down the road, while Prescott, on his horse, jumped over a fence and vanished into the woods. Prescott was the one who made it to Concord in the early morning. Neither Dawes nor Revere made it. He successfully made everyone aware of the impending weapons raid, and everything was stashed away safely. If Hancock and Adams were arrested, and all the weapons in Concord had been seized, it is tough to say whether or not the revolution would have been as successful as it was. To put it simply, much credit is owed to the evening of April 17th, 1775, in Paul Revere's Midnight Ride. borne on the night wind of the past, through all our history, to the last. In the hour of darkness and peril and need, the people will waken and listen to hear the hurrying hoof beats of that steed and the midnight message of Paul Revere.